the book is very touching. So many people, I mean, how they are attached to her, they are inspired by her, and how, for me at least, she is it's a professional relationship, but I could go through the book and see that how many people love Priyanka, and that must be because how many people she must be, the joy, each individual, when you elicit joy, you get people, friends, and so amazing book, very honestly written, and as my colleague mentioned, she has just faced everything, and she has also written it in a very, very open-minded, honest way. Amazing book. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's the only surgeon in India performing the revolutionary non-fusion anterior scoliosis correction. He is frequently invited nationally and internationally to conduct workshops on advanced spinal techniques and perform live demo surgeries. Apart from this, not many know that he is also a football player and has represented Gujarat in football at a national level. Well, I would like to add a personal touch here. Dr. Sajan Hegde is very dear to the Bagdi family. He's always been the go-to person for all the advice the family needs. Bagdi family has known him personally for about almost over 30 years now. He's always been there through all the thick and thin. He's been the backbone of the family, which is so true to his profile. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Sajan Hegde.
Time flies. It seems like just the other day, Priyanka is a little girl growing up in the neighborhood of Nundamakam. And suddenly one day, she's a young lady and having a conversation with me, what she wants to do in life. Uncle, I want to be a doctor. And I see a steely resolve in her eyes. And I know she is ready for the long, grueling journey, which will make her a doctor. She is hardworking, has a razor-sharp focus, and she achieved her goal of becoming a gynecologist. She gives meaning and illuminates the lives of not just her family, but everyone she meets. Priyanka, your story, as well as your amazing presence, will linger in the minds and hearts of people. You will continue to inspire all who come in touch with you and read your story. I wish you joy and abundance, and good luck, and God bless.
She carries warmth in every smile. She walks with us through every trial. She whispers prayers with gentle grace. She lights our path in every place. She holds our heart with tender care. She's the love beyond compare. Any guesses? Who's this? Yes, you got it right. Well, I am talking about Mrs. Renu Bagdi, mother of Dr. Priyanka Bagdi. Now, when a child gets hurt, the child feels pain. But what about the mother? The mother feels even deeper pain. Her heart aches, not only for the injury, but also from the emotional bond she shares with her child. Dr. Priyanka being diagnosed with AML must have come as a brutal shock. When we talk about Dr. Priyanka's relentless fight and perseverance, somewhere we're also talking about the family's fight and perseverance. So let's hear the story and how the journey has been from Mrs. Renu Bagdi, mother of Dr. Priyanka Bagdi. Please welcome Mrs. Renu Bagdi.
And heart full of gratitude that I stand before you at the launch of my daughter's book. This event is not just a celebration of her remarkable achievements, but also a testament to the strength and resilience that have defined our family's journey. Her battle with cancer was not just a fight for survival. It was a journey that demanded unwavering courage, an unbreakable spirit, and an immense amount of hope. Watching her face each challenge with grace and determination has been both inspiring and humbling. Through this journey, I have witnessed how profound faith can provide immense strength. My daughter's deep faith in Lord Shiva has been a source of great power for her. As a breast cancer survivor myself, I know too well the trials that come with facing such a formidable opponent. My own experience has taught me about the power of hope, the importance of support, and the strength that comes from within. It's these lessons that have shaped not only my own path, but also the way we as a family have approached adversity. Today, as we celebrate the launch of this book, we are also celebrating a victory over the struggles that have tested us. This book is more than just a collection of words. It's a symbol of perseverance, a beacon of hope, and a powerful reminder that even in the darkest times, faith and creativity can shine through. I want to express my deepest gratitude to everyone who has supported us along this painful journey. Our family, friends, medical professionals, and everyone who has offered prayers, words of encouragement, and love. Your support has been the bedrock of our strength and the fuel for our resolve. How can I ever forget those dark days my family endured? Days when Priyanka lay motionless in the CCU's negative pressure room, where the only sign of life was the flickers of the monitors. As a parent, it was a pain beyond words, something no one should ever have to witness. Yet, through it all, the constant support and reassurance from the doctors kept us grounded and gave us strength. I sincerely hope no one ever has to face such days. To my daughter, I'm immensely proud of you. Your courage, your determination, and your ability to turn your experience into something so beautiful are truly extraordinary. This book is a testament to your resilience and your ability to inspire others. As we turn the pages of this book today, let it serve as a reminder that even in the face of the greatest challenges, there is hope, strength, and the possibility of a new beginning. Thank you all for being here to share this special moment with us. Here's to the power of storytelling, the strength of the human spirit, and to celebrating every triumph big and small. Thank you once again.
Dr. Vishwajit was assisting Dr. T. Raja for Dr. Priyanka's treatment. First of all, I would like to thank you a lot for coming all the way from Bangalore. Dr. Vishwajit was earlier with Apollo Cancer Center, and now he's currently working as a consultant medical oncologist at HCG Bangalore. He is also referred to as the strict teacher in the entire book. Well, we've all had strict teachers at school with all the do's and don'ts, and that's how Dr. Vishwajit was with Dr. Priyanka. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Vishwajit.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I was in Apollo for a short time, for about a year, and that is when I got to know Priyanka. And it was by sheer coincidence, Dr. Sartan's one of assistant, Dr. Vignesh, he is a friend of mine from MBBS days. We had not been in touch for a very long time. But I knew for a fact that he was in Chennai, and one evening he called me saying, there's one patient in Greens Road. We were predominantly working in the Tenanpet branch. You need to go see today itself. She's quite critical. And then after finishing my day, it was late in the evening, and I went there, and that is when I first saw Priyanka, and then I met her father, her uncle, and that is when all the sequence of events started. The treatment that lasted for about 5 to 6 months. The word cancer itself elicits a lot of fear in most of our people. But more so when that the diagnosis is AML, even oncologists like us are scared. If you look around, there are so many oncologists in Chennai, and not everybody would want to treat a patient with AML because it is very difficult. The journey is extremely hard, both for the family, the patient, as well as for the oncologist. It's not easy for any of us either. So, given a chance, not many oncologists also would want to treat a patient with AML. After having gone back to Bangalore, I am not treating patients with AML, but it's by good chance that, good luck that Priyanka was in the right hands and the team of doctors under Dr. T. Raja. And lot of patients, before they get diagnosed, they go through various places trying to find the right doctor, but it is very rare that you actually find the right place in the first time. I think Priyanka was very lucky that way as well, that she was able to get the right treatment at the right time and the right person. So Priyanka, during the course of treatment, she would always say, I'll write a book and you'll have to come for the launch. And I was like, ye sab bolte hain. So, but couple of months back she said, sir, the manuscript is ready, I want you to write a foreword. Like, really? Because during the book, when we used to go for rounds and all, she would say, I've already started writing and I've called you the strict teacher. And I was actually thinking she was joking, but then when I read the manuscript, I actually realized that she was actually telling the truth. The thing is, most of the people don't want to revisit these memories. Of course, when you have to write the book, you have to revisit those memories. It's not easy. Most of them would compartmentalize and keep it in one corner of their mind. They don't want to revisit those. But having writing that, and the other thing about Priyanka is she had the views of being a doctor as well as a patient. Because many times patients tell us, sir, आपको कैसे पता चलता है? आप तो डॉक्टर हो, आप बता के चले जाते हो. You are a doctor, you don't know the pain of a patient. But here she had both of that. She was a doctor and she is a patient, and that's how she's able to write down it so vividly in her book. I couldn't I read the book in the manuscript stage, but I couldn't completely read the book. But the day she sent me the Amazon link that it is on Amazon, I immediately ordered, and the book came to my house, and my mom finished reading it, and she was like, she's written it very well. It's not easy for anyone. The flow of thoughts and the expression is very good. So I congratulate Priyanka for having done this. Not, as I said, not many people would want to do this, and she's indeed put in a lot of efforts. I really wish, and the other thing was, when I ordered the book did not arrive for about 2 weeks time, though the estimated date was 5 days. I messaged her saying the book is delayed. She's like, the book is most of the stock is already sold out. I'm like, yeah, this is what I would want to listen more and more. That's a good beginning. So I really wish, Priyanka, that more people do read this book and they actually get to know how difficult it is to go through this journey. More than that, being a doctor, having gone through this, she's jumped back into her career. She didn't waste much time, and she started working already, and we really wish that she has a very successful career ahead. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Dr. T. Raja is the Director of Medical Oncology, Apollo Hospitals, Chennai. He is the head of DMV Medical Oncology Program, Apollo Hospitals. He is also an adjunct professor in medical oncology, a distinguished teacher in medical oncology with more than 25 years of clinical experience. Dr. T. Raja has been conferred with the Distinguished Clinician by Apollo Clinical Award in 2021. He's a recipient of the Times Healthcare Achiever Award in 2018 and the Best Doctor Award by MGR Medical University in 2012. He's a distinguished researcher in oncology with multiple publications in reputed international journals in oncology. He served as a principal investigator for almost 25 RCTs. He is also a gold medalist in DM Medical Oncology from Gujarat University. He's the invited faculty at many international conferences and has close to 50 international presentations and numerous national presentations. Dr. T. Raja is Dr. Priyanka's oncologist and has handled the entire treatment of Dr. Priyanka, which began in November 2022 and went on till May 2023. Dr. T. Raja is referred to as the cool principal in the book. I would like to add on a little more about Dr. T. Raja from Dr. Priyanka's perspective. We all know that superheroes wore capes. Yes? Spider-Man, Superman, everyone wore capes. But for Dr. Priyanka, they wear white coats and know how to defeat leukemia. Dr. Priyanka says, "Thank you so much for not only saving my life, but also for making the whole fighting cancer thing feel like just another day at office. Your care and humor made the toughest days bearable, and for that I am forever grateful. Thanks for being the best oncologist and my personal superhero." Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause and welcome Dr. T. Raja.
I think she mentioned few things, but I have a very different view of what's going on here. So, of course, you have already now heard that Dr. Priyanka was diagnosed with acute leukemia, acute myeloid leukemia, blood cancer, and then she has gone on to fight it, come out, and has written a book. So you have already heard about all these things. But then, from my viewpoint, when she said that she's going to do all these things, so what did I think? When, let's imagine a young person who is in the prime of their life. She is 28, 29, and 30, who have just stepped into a good career, and everything looks very promising, anyone. And then suddenly they are told that you have a difficult disease, you have a cancer, and then you have a blood cancer, you have an acute leukemia. And for anyone, it must be totally shattering. I don't know what will go through in their mind, and everything will be totally different. Everything will suddenly look different. The whole life for us, there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of aspirations. All of us want to do something, want to achieve something, and suddenly, it's just like getting a big hit, and you don't know what's happening. So it must be so devastating and takes you out of your balance. That will be difficult for anyone. Young people, where their energy is high, maturity is on the, is coming, and they are dreaming, and then you get a hit. Must be so tough. But if that young person also happens to be a doctor, that is even more difficult. I would say that it is real. It's like a hell, torture to go through, or even hear. Sometimes because unfortunately they have read so many things about diseases, and they know a lot about these diseases, and everything flashes in front. And when we read about all the difficult things, all the worst things that can happen with this disease, and then you are hearing, something like that, and it must be so difficult for anyone, but it is very, very tough for a doctor, young doctor, to hear that and then cope up with that. And it's always difficult to sit across the table, and that's what a life-threatening disease and a totally life-changing diagnosis, and that's what you would expect. Then that person goes through the treatment. She's admitted, and unlike many others, even with this difficult diagnosis, many people would come in a relatively stable situation. She was, from the beginning, she was admitted, and she was immediately very sick with infections and pneumonias, and she was in the intensive care for quite a few days, that we could not even start the treatment, and we had to do a lot of things to stabilize. A lot of good doctors, the entire infrastructure and specialization of so many good doctors in Apollo, and they all looked after her very well. And Dr. Vishwajit was with me at that time, and Dr. Vishwajit every day, and so many of my own team doctors, and so many specialists in the hospital. So they had to do a lot of things to stabilize her and bring her back to some shape, and then we treat the disease, and by God's grace, she begins to respond. And even during treatment, she goes through a lot of ups and downs during the treatment. She responds well, and then we build on the treatment, and she goes on to complete the treatment. So that could be that could be something that you can relate. But in all this, what is different is the individual. That's what is the difference. Dr. Priyanka, you see her today. She is really smiling and shiny, and she looks beautiful and all that. But can you believe that she is probably a little more reserved today? And when I see her in the hospital, first diagnosed, in the ICU, she was smiling, much better than this. She was, that's the memory still is in my eyes. And I still remember when I first met her, and then I started to talk to her about what is this and what is the diagnosis. I still remember some of the jokes that she cracked. And then every day when we see her, she will be very witty, and she would have pulled our legs several times. And so when as treating doctors, you want to go and see a patient, sick patient, what do you want to do? You want to say that, hold their hands and say that, don't worry, you are getting better. You want to say you want to instill some confidence, inspiration, shall I say, warmth and all that. But actually, when we take rounds, whenever I meet Priyanka, whenever I hold hands, I get inspired, and I feel good and warm. And a tough day, tiring day, there will be so many other difficult patients, ups and downs. But when I see her, I get energized every time. That was what happened. That was true through the entire journey. She joked about the fact that she is a gynecologist, and she joked about the fact that she is surrounded by many gynecologists. And she also joked about the fact all of them happen to be ladies. So this is very lively on the initial days with the diagnosis, and she is on treatment. And so she will be witty, sharp, and she will catch you at then after she goes through, and she's an amazing fighter. There is a smile on the face, but there is a lot of fight in her. She fights she fought the disease, a lot of determination, and amazing understanding. And she's a very, very good doctor. She's a very, very knowledgeable doctor, and and a very sharp one, and very hard working to begin with. But then she's also very, very good fighter, and that's all these things probably helped her to go through the journey in a different way. Maybe God helps, definitely, but God helps, when the hand is extended, the God holds the hand and brings it up. Then the family, amazing family, they were equally, they were all there all the time, positive, and any one of the family, whenever I remember, all of them were equally positive, equally warm. They were so supportive. At every moment, you could feel that this family is holding her up, and her joy has really come from the family, and you can see the continuity. And I've been fortunate to interact with some of their family members throughout, and I could see that how much love and affection they showed on her, and then how much they have to be cool, they have to be supportive, they have to bear all the pain, but then they have to go as though everything is okay. It's a very tough act, and the family did amazingly to support her like a cushion. And there were very, very amazing senior doctors behind her. Dr. Hegde Saab is there, and I consider him as my guru, one of our senior doctors. He is a big support. We all look up to him. He's one of the most famous spine surgeons in the country, and he was there all the time supporting her. And there were other senior doctors, Dr. Bagdi, Kishore Bagdi. He is not here today. There were so many good people behind her. I think all their good wishes, good will, good prayer, positive energy, and this girl's amazing, positivity. That's what, helped her through all these things. And after all these things, when she's writing the book also, she will say, "Sir, I've sent you, write the forward. It will be only an order." And I'm told today, my doctors told me that she gave orders what I should speak today, but Priyanka, I spoke on my own. I did not follow your script. So God bless you, God bless you. And your energy is inspiring. And I know that you will become an amazing doctor. But this human being in you, this fighting spirit, this smile, I think sunshine, all these adjectives is very true. And keep it up. And we are inspired. I am inspired, and God bless you.
Survival rate, if you say out of 100, how many people you think would survive a blood cancer?
Let me be answering it differently. I'm not going to be statistical. That's for another kind of a thing. With positive energy, with a positive mindset, with family support, friends and family, everybody will win. Okay? And here is our example.
Dr. Priyanka's case was slightly complicated with dengue and lung infection. How confident were you with this case? And did you ever think that Dr. Priyanka will fight it and come out of it so well?
Now, as a treating doctor, when we face any patient, however difficult it is, the only way we can survive through that day is being hopeful, being positive. So look at what are the pluses in any given situation. Young patient, and we know that young patients will fight, and they have a better physiology. And then we look at so many things that determine what happens. I mean, there is always, there are modern medicines, so that's how we look at it. So if you want to estimate a given patient, of course, we do that every day. That's like a mathematical thing, but again, just being positive, in every situation, there is always a ray of hope.
Can we have a big round of applause for that? What are the key takeaways would you want the readers of Sunshine at the Bend to remember when it comes to cancer awareness and support?
That's an important question, good question. And first, any cancer, just being aware of cancer and some basic knowledge about cancer is very important for the society, because all of us know one fact, that any cancer, when you diagnose at an early stage, is highly curable. Here we want to be very, statistical, because I want to pass on a general message. In India, today we know that more than every year, nearly 10 to 15 lakhs of newly diagnosed cancer happens. And out of that, we know that there is only some of them survive, many of them, because in India, 70% of the cancers are diagnosed at a late stage. That's the trouble. In India, if the same patients, and then therefore the survival rate is only 20 to 30. I'm talking about a general population of all these 15 lakhs getting diagnosed. You can imagine, only 20 to 30% survive the first or second year. But if the same patients were to be diagnosed at an early stage, same India, same country, same population, if those can be diagnosed at an early stage, we know that 70 to 75% long-term survival is possible. So, being aware of what are common cancers and what are the common things about, symptoms about common cancers, that's where, wherever we want to talk in general places, whenever we reach out through TVs, interviews or papers, we convey what we call as warning signs of cancer or early diagnosis, signals of cancer and all that one. So being aware is very, very important. And the second thing is, being positive and comprehensive diagnosis, use the best tools for making the diagnosis and discuss about the treatment. And then individuals, mental strength, family support, everything counts. So I would say that nowadays there are very advanced treatment options available, and even very advanced diseases, advanced stage disease can also be treated well, and a lot of patients are even in advanced stages are getting completely responded, and what we call remissions, cures, and also is possible. So long-term survival is possible, normal life is possible. So be aware of all these things. That's what I want to do.
Thank you, sir. What keeps you motivated, sir, and inspired in your work when dealing with so many difficult cases like AML? How do you keep up that emotional balance?
Priyanka is an example. We have just seen that. But I think your question is, when we see patients, we also not only see this as a patient, it's a father or a mother or a daughter or a husband or a wife, and if I tell one story, you will be okay. That one couple of young ladies, let me say, one young lady they come diagnosed something different disease, more difficult diseases, and the surprising part was she was engaged to a young man, and young, and he was actually a military guy, and then this lady goes through 4 to 5 years of treatment, but that young boy did not leave her. He stayed on after all the treatment. They get married and then they come back and say, so what did that young man have to do? That is sheer good positive energy in life, and that motivated him somewhere. All these things, you see all these things in how children look after their parents, how after having a very good job in the US, leaving the whole thing and coming and sitting down here for parents, and then parents sacrificing everything they have for their kids. So when you see all these things, you see those real persons, and so you are touched with all that.
Can I answer this question?
Yeah, please.
So when me and Sir, almost for 6 months I was admitted, and Sir came almost out of that, about 180 days. Sir came 160 days per round. He came even one Sunday. Every month, one Sunday he came. And you know what me and Sir would see? The first interaction would be hemoglobin, WBC, platelet count, and absolute neutrophil count. He would ask, and he would leave it there. And then he would just talk. We spoke about FIFA. We spoke about Rawat Kachori in Jaipur. Sir's interaction with Rawat Kachori in Jaipur. Sir loving dhoklas because he studied in Gujarat. Then we spoke about everything other than AML, leukemia, cancer. All we spoke was about food, about good places in Chennai, and how I should not keep my salary with myself and not give it forward to my husband. Yes, we had this discussion, and then we had a very big interaction, and how Sir has a son, and I had told him one of the interactions, Sir, I'll become your daughter. Since you don't have a son, I'll be your daughter. So I think that's why Sir is always, he will not talk to the patients regarding the disease. He'll speak it, keep it limited, and then he's like, and he would always look at my mom or my dad and say, ये ठीक है, ये अच्छे हो जाएंगे. Don't worry, because they were more panicked than both of us put together.
I think that's why Priyanka rightly mentioned you as the cool principal in the book. We also see that these days there are more cases of cancer. So what do you have to say about that?
I'll ask that to say, because we see cancers all the time, but he's one of the foremost spine surgeon in the country, and he refers quite a bit of bone cancers and all that one. So I want to hear his advice to the rest of you.
I'm not going to talk about cancer. I'll tell you why. Because as a spine surgeon, I can say we do treat patients with difficult issues. But what Dr. Raja is doing is absolutely heroic. I think he has a very strong mind, and he's able to convey that to his patients. I think he's doing an unbelievable, quite a great job.
Priyanka is cheerful, ever smiling, happy-go-lucky, and a very joyful girl. From the time I have known her, she's always been very clear in her life with respect to what she wants to do, her ambitions, her goals, and her priorities in life. She has consistently chosen and paved her own path, and everyone knows the effort it takes to earn an MBBS degree. Her grandfather, Mr. L.D. Bagdi, and the entire family is extremely proud of her. Priyanka was 28 years old when she recently completed her MS in obstetrics and gynecology, and this was in July 2022. She's an MBBS graduate from Sri Ramachandra Medical College and Research Institute. She'd just begun her professional life and started practicing. You can just imagine a gynecologist who delivers babies, someone who brings life into the world, suddenly finding herself in a life and death situation. And being a doctor, she knows what the gravity of the situation is, who knows the odds all very well. You can only imagine what she went through and how she faced it. Rather than hearing the experience and the journey from me, let's hear it from Dr. Priyanka Bagdi herself.
Good evening, everyone. Sir, you just made me sound very strict.
So let me apologize in case I get emotional through the speech. I've been holding some tears now since evening. I must say, seeing all of you here tonight is overwhelming in the best possible way. I think I can safely say that this is the first time I've been excited to be in a room full of people without worrying about catching cold or the need to wear a mask, sir. You must be agreeing with me, Raja, sir. Sunshine at the Bend is not just a book. It's a piece of my heart. At 28, when most people are trying to figure out if they are adults or just tall kids with bills, I got handed a leukemia diagnosis. Talk about a plot twist there now. As a young doctor, I was used to treating patients, but not being one. But life has a funny way of reminding you that you are not always in control. At least for someone like me, who's always had those milestones attached to her brain. So sometimes you are the patient and the other times you are just trying to figure out how to work the hospital bed remote. Yes, that was a task. I cleared MBBS, MS, but the hospital bed remote was real science for me. Now, let me tell you, this journey wasn't exactly the vacation I had in mind. There were days when my only form of exercise was pacing around the hospital room, pretending it to be a five-star resort where Apollo is. But in the midst of all the uncertainty, fear, and less than stellar hospital cuisine, see, everybody here knows I'm a big foodie. But yes, I restricted myself for 6 months to the hospital cuisine. I discovered something extraordinary, the strength of the human spirit. And let's be honest, the power of social media, no? To keep you connected, informed, occasionally distracted with the reels, the food videos, everything. I had the incredible support of my family, friends, colleagues who made sure I didn't face this all alone. It was their love, along with my stubborn determination. And let's not forget the caffeine. The caffeine where? In the Apollo Specialty Hospital. You know, they serve the best coffee there, at least at that moment. The best filter coffee. The filter coffee, I will never ever forget now. It really was the sunshine through the darkest of times. Writing this book was an interesting process, to say the least. Who knew that putting your life on paper could be such a workout for your soul? It was like a therapy, but with more typos. I had a lot of typos. I wanted to share not just the story of my illness, but the moments of courage, resilience, and an unexpected humor that kept me going. If Sunshine at the Bend can bring a smile, a tear, or even, well, at least my day is not that bad, then it's all been worth it. After reaching remission, I realized my journey wasn't just about survival. It was about turning those lemons into lemonade and then maybe a lemon meringue spice, because who doesn't love desserts? Well, I do. Desserts. The other sir has told me to restrict on sugar though. I became determined to give back, to advocate for others facing cancer and to raise awareness in a way that wasn't just informative but maybe a little fun too. This book is a part of that project. I need to thank my publishing house for being patient as I took my own sweet time to complete the book. Ruchi Masi and Preeti Bhavi, this book wouldn't be shaped the way without your constant support. Thank you so very much. And both of them are not here today with us. So I couldn't stand here tonight without giving a heartfelt thank you to the amazing doctors who were with me at every step of the way. Thank you, Dr. Sajan Hegde, Uncle, for being the guiding light when my family and I were lost in the fog. From selecting the right doctor to meticulously ensuring that every detail was taken care of. Your clarity, wisdom, decisive actions made all the difference during our most challenging moments. I'm forever grateful for your unwavering support and expertise, which gave us the strength and direction we so desperately needed during those tough times. Yes, Uncle took care of everything for the first 10 days when my family was thoroughly lost. They were trying to figure out everything by themselves. So, thank you so much, Uncle. Dr. T. Raja sir and his team. I just cannot have enough praises for that. Sir, you were a dream team, the real superheroes in white coats and your blue scrubs, I'll never forget. You kept me calm when I was about to consult Dr. Google and convince myself I had every rare disease known to mankind. Okay, I'll tell you a secret here. So, when I got the diagnosis of acute myeloid, I didn't get it. So, the peripheral smear report came which showed AROS. So, most of the doctors would understand. AROS is something, we see in a lot of other diseases, but we also see it very classically in acute myeloid leukemia. And I knew I had AML. I rang up my father and everything. So, me, even though I was a doctor, the first thing I Googled, my 5-year survival rate. Now, I wanted to know whether I can achieve things in the next 5 years. So the 5-year survival rate was 18%. So I immediately closed the phone. The first thing I said, okay, I will never ever Google now. I don't want to Google anything and I will never ever Google anything further from here. And that's when I said, okay, I will just blindly follow whatever happens and follow my doctor's instructions. And let's not forget, you managed to get me through chemotherapy, sir, with more humor than I would think is possible. Who knew discussing white blood cell count could be such a riot? Dr. Babuji, sir, you deserve a special shout out for always finding the good way. Seriously, it's like you had the sixth sense. Sir, I'm seeing you for the first time without mask. But I'm really, really grateful when I was, just one small incident, when I was on day 3 of my CCU in specialty, Apollo specialty, I was on NIV, a non-invasive ventilator, and sir had been called for putting my central line. Okay, so when you are on NIV, I was on a propped up position. My head couldn't move at all. Sir genuinely has magic in his hand. He just put it in first one go. And he said, no, I don't need an ultrasound to check. I'm very sure it's in the right leg. Sir, thank you so much. Dr. Vishwajit, sir, your ability to explain the complicated medical jargon in a way that even I, under the influence of heavy pain meds, could understand was nothing short of miraculous. Dr. Gafu, sir has left. He came first and we left first. Thank you for your relentless positivity, even when I was deep in woe is me mode. Your energetic, good morning, Priyanka. I think everybody in Apollo specialty will know. Sir's morning wishes is like this. Good morning, Priyanka. And you know, it was like really the sunshine is hitting the CCU dark doors. The good mornings were really like that. And you would say, good morning, doctor. Just hang in there. I was like, sir, the hanging in is almost over for a week. How many more days am I supposed to handle it? Just couple of days. The couple of days had long gone. But then he kept repeating, couple of days more, couple of more days. I'm forever grateful to each one of you for your expertise, your compassion, and for keeping me alive long enough to make it to this stage, literally. But I'd be remiss if I didn't also give a huge thank you to the incredible nurses and the hospital staff at Apollo Hospitals, both Apollo Cancer Hospital as well as Apollo Greens Road. That's the Apollo main hospital. You all deserve medals. Seriously, dealing with me on no sleep and a caffeine drip is no small feat. The nurses who were always there with a smile, a comforting word, or just the right amount of salve. When I needed it, you were there. You managed to make the hospital feel a little less like a place of illness and a little more like a place of healing. To the staff who brought my meals, cleaned my room, made sure I had everything I needed, thank you. You were the unsung heroes, making sure that despite everything, my experience was as comfortable as it could be. Okay, most of you know how deeply connected I am to my grandfather, and it brings me immense joy he being here with us today. Dadu, thank you. Ma. So that's my grandmom. I call her Ma. You are the tigress of our family, the one who has always kept us strong. I'm proud to reflect your courage and resilience. Mom and Dad, no words can truly capture my gratitude for all that you have done. Typically, a mother carries her child in the womb. But in my second birth, both of you carried me with the same love and care as if I were a newborn again. Thank you doesn't even begin to cover it. Bhai, you've been more than a brother. You've been like a parent to me. You have stared at the monitor all through the night, not letting my SpO2 drop below 94. No, my brother would just hold on to the monitor and look at it the whole night. I would wake up in the middle of the sleep and would see him just staring at the monitor. I would often tell him, please sleep. But you looking at the monitor will anyways drop or raise is not in your hands or eyes. He said, no. With my stern eyes, the oxygen would never drop below 94. I love you dearly. Diksha Bhabhi and Ekansh, your strength and support have been unwavering. To Chachu and Chachi, your endless support through every adversity has been a pillar of strength for all of us. The extended family and friends God has gifted me with, I love you all, and you give me the greatest reason to keep living and fighting with hope. As I stand before you all today, I am filled with gratitude for the second chance at life, for the love and support that kept me going, and for the opportunity to share my story with you all, especially without any needles involved. You know now how AML is to be treated, thanks to my book, and without any needles also involved. Sunshine at the Bend is more than just my story. It's a celebration of resilience, a reminder to find joy in the little things, like Sir has mentioned, and proof that even when life throws you a curveball, you can still knock it out of the park, or at least foul it off till we get a better pitch. Last but most profoundly, I want to thank Lord Shiva, the Mahadev. Through every challenge, it was His divine grace that kept me alive. I am here today only because of His boundless love and protection. I owe my very life to His mercy, and for that I offer my most heartfelt and eternal gratitude. Thank you all for being here tonight. I hope the sunshine at the bend will touch your heart and maybe even tickle your funny bone just as much as writing it has done for me. Thank you everyone once again, and Namah Shivaya. No, Ram Subramanian sir. He said, we'll see, don't think always of the negative aspect. But no, as a doctor, you always think that if it's AROS, it has to be AML. That's like the MCQs that we used to learn. And the first 10 days, 1 week just went for me to figure out if I have got the right things, everything is going on smoothly. The whole thing that sinks in was after, and how the whole story went was, I was straight away into pneumonia. So I was only in CCU, I hardly saw my family. So the sinking feeling didn't go in actually till the first 3 weeks. Around November 28th, when I was shifted out of the CCU, and I still remember it was around noon time, around 11 o'clock, Raja sir came and said, we'll start your chemo today. And I held my mom and I cried. I cried for good 45 minutes, and then I said, see, I will not cry after this, but let me cry today. Let me understand what has happened with me. Nothing made sense after that moment. Till then I was more figuring out, okay, I have to start my treatment, I need to do this, I need to do that, I have to figure out a lot of things. But that day it didn't make any sense. And I had to start the treatment. At 4 o'clock, I still remember my first chemo was at 4, and 12 to 1 I cried, and then I went back to sleep because I got tired of crying. My body was so weak, I got tired of crying for 45 minutes, then I went back to bed, ate at 3, and then I was all ready. Then I got all excited about chemotherapy. I don't know why.
You can expect that only from a doctor. So being a doctor yourself, did you ever doubt your treatment?
That is the most funniest part, I'm sitting with Dr. T. Raja sir. You know how my first interaction with him was? He came to the isolation room and he introduced me. I am Dr. T. Raja. And I was like, sir, who doesn't know you? And then he was like, okay. And then he said, I'll be taking care of you. So I was, 3 things. First thing was Sergeant Uncle chose him. So I was very sure whatever he chooses for me, it will be the best. He chose Afghan for me. Not many people know. I wanted to be a spine surgeon, but he somewhere chose Afghan for me. He told me, I'll never teach you spine surgery, go take OBG. That's your true love. You're simply getting attracted to what we do, but you actually like OG, so please take OG. So I knew very well, if he can choose my career, he will be the best doctor for me. And then, of course, Dr. T. Raja sir, 6 months, he made sure I don't do anything. He was right there, trying to keep me hanging in there, without putting me on ventilator, just taking signs from my father every now and then about ventilator, tracheostomy. But he was very sure he'll take care of me. Not even a single day. In fact, we could have access to all the second, third opinion, but we never took. I just felt Sergeant Uncle has chosen, and I felt Lord Mahadev has chosen him for me, so it has to be there. So nothing can go wrong. All the good people choosing the right people, so it has to go right.
Can I have a big round of applause here? Could you quote some favorite lines of yours from the book?
Sir, and can I borrow the book? So, this one particular line, it took me some time to write. It really took me about 2.5 weeks to write because I was just trying to figure out if I could frame it better. So, it reads something like this. I appreciate life more and feel more focused. I don't care much about what others think about me. I feel comfortable in my own skin. I have crystal clear goals and the energy to achieve them. My spiritual outlook has widened my horizons. I am an ardent believer in karma and a devotee of Shiva. However, I strongly disagree. Many people have told me that illness is a result of past life karma. However, I strongly disagree. I don't believe my God is so small as to punish me for mistakes from previous lives or the previous birth. Instead, I believe that facing difficult situations is a part of God's plan to prepare us for greater challenges that require immense strength. If I'm alive today, it's for a higher and a better purpose that only He knows, and I will understand it in the future. Not everybody survives cancer and gets back to their normal selves again. If I have come this far, I am sure God has better plans for me. I pray to Shiva to make me His instrument and spread joy and happiness wherever I go.
How did you manage your emotional breakdown, and what will be your advice to fellow survivors?
It's okay to cry. First, accept the disease openly. I had accepted my disease. I didn't want to go in the denial mode, which my family was in the first few weeks. But I was okay. I knew with the minute I saw air or this AML, and I had accepted it that minute. So half the battle was won. And of course, I had my low days, high days. I have cried once to such an extent in CCU that Raja sir and Gapur sir had to shift me out of the negative pressure room immediately. I had cried 3 tissue boxes off. And I still remember Raja sir coming and seeing me with Uditya sir. And my nose was all red. I had just winded up the crying session. By 3 tissue boxes were over, I had just winded up the crying session. He looked at me and said, "What happened to my little doctor today?" And then I started crying again. And then he said, no, before she loses her emotional coating, let me shift her house. Let me have her mother being with her for some time, so that before we start the chemotherapy, she's again strong enough. So yes, I've cried a lot of days. But again, I have bounced back stronger because I knew we had to be strong mentally, physically. I had to be strong to face it all.
Can I have a big round of applause once again for Dr. Priyanka? We're now open to any question answers that you have.
No, you heard her speaking very seriously and all that. That is not true. Most of the time, she, with all these things, she is always joking and funny. We agree on few things. We like doklas and kachoris. We discuss a lot. We disagree on something. You will be surprised to hear that. She likes Shah Rukh Khan. She thinks that, and she somehow feels that I can talk to him, I can connect. So from that day onwards, her respect to me has gone very high. So even though I told her that I like the current generation, we still are in disagreement with that. So this is, I like Vicky Kaushal, I'll say. She will be totally upset with that. So this is the conversation that we will have every day.
That's the only thing that we disagree on. He likes Vicky Kaushal more and I like Shah Rukh Khan.
Okay, so who's the better one?
Raja sir is the better.
Okay.
So Raja sir, in fact, I had just finished my treatment. He told me, go watch Pathan movie. My father was standing right behind when Raja sir told, yeah, Priyanka, go watch Pathan movie. I was not barely able to walk even 20 steps. I was wheeling in. I was getting wheelchaired in his OP and said, yeah, now you're counselor, okay, go watch Pathan movie. And my dad is looking at me from there. You're not doing any of that. You're going straight home and nowhere out. But that's why sir gets the title of the cool principal. Now, on my day 25 of my 7+3 treatment, yes, 7+3 treatment. It was day 25. Counts had just started to increase, and so I had made one. Like I told you, we were from two funny characters in the hospital. I told sir, can I have 30 ml of chilled thumbs up? And can you believe? Sir said, yes, of course. And he told in the CCU, please organize for it. Dr. Priyanka wants it. And I was so happy. Of course, they came back saying that we don't have thumbs up, we have Sprite. I said, no, I don't want Sprite. And next day, sir actually asked me, did you get thumbs up? I said, no, sir, I couldn't. And then he said, you should have smuggled it in. What is there? You could have had 30 ml. But then I made sure that next day I had Sprite at least.
All right, so I guess you can expect that only from a cool principal.
Yes, I wouldn't allow my patients to.
Be part of the team. A lot of great doctors, and I draw inspiration from my colleague and my senior, Dr. Babuji. She was just mentioning any difficult patient whom I think many others would not even touch for a line, or he would just like that come smile and do. So we learn smiling and being very easy from Dr. Babuji. And she mentioned about Dr. Kapoor, our entire intensive care team, and my team, my whole team, the young doctors, junior doctors, and my co-consultants, all of them, they are the fulcrum. Otherwise, difficult diseases, it needs a lot of helping hands, and everybody being there as a team is the best answer. Okay, so I must thank my fellow doctors, my colleagues, my own team for supporting Priyanka the best possible. God bless.
Thank you.
Dr. Priyanka, she's an amazing individual, amazing doctor, and in all these difficult times with a very difficult disease, what helped her, I think, is her positivity and ever smiling nature and never giving up, and being humorous and taking life on it, and then facing it, fighting it. I think this is an amazing individual, and God bless her.
About the book. This book, Sunshine at the Bend, is I'm a gynecologist, and I was all of a sudden given with the devastating news of acute myeloid leukemia, which is a very aggressive blood cancer. And when 5 days into my treatment, I 5 days into my disease, not in my treatment, I wanted to write a book to inspire more people, to help people who have faced such a similar disease but with more ease. I felt I had a very good outlook. I had the best doctors. I had my very good family support. I had God's support, but not everybody gets lucky. So might as well you be mentally strong. Try to deal with whatever comes, and as it comes, take it slowly, but please take it positively.
What is the main reason for this?
This is what she had was acute leukemia, acute myeloid leukemia. It is a blood cancer. It's blood cancers can be broadly divided as acute leukemias and chronic leukemias. Chronic leukemias are the one that goes slowly. Acute leukemias are the one that come suddenly and they progress very fast. They multiply very fast. They are life-threatening diseases. There are two different varieties of acute leukemias. What she had is known as acute myeloid leukemia. It's one of the most difficult diseases, very dangerous diseases. It can happen to anyone. Something goes wrong in your marrow, and the cells become wrong, and they go into another pathway. They go out of control, and they start destroying the individual and destroys every other organ. It can, the point is, there is no reason. It is not due to that she or he or she had some bad habits or any diet, nothing like that. This can happen to anybody. This is just like something going wrong in your multiplication, and random accident, what we call. It can happen at any age. Young patients can have, young people can have, older people can have, and it's a life threatening disease, but with good treatment. which is now very much available in our country, and with good treatment, with good supportive care, a lot of patients get over it, and then they can come out of the disease, they get cured, and many patients are long term survivors and they get completely cured of the disease. There is now, a very good hope that many of the patients can get better, they can get cured, and they can have a long life and a normal life.
The Sunshine at the Bend is a motivational book.
Yes, it's a motivational, inspirational book. Like, I would love everybody to read it in case you or your family member, somebody knowing to have cancer. And the minute we say the word cancer, everybody gets stressed, everybody is scared, and then they think their life has come to an end. But not always. You can always face it with absolute courage, with your mentally being very strong. So even though physically you will not be strong, how much ever you try, you cannot be strong with all the chemotherapy sessions and everything. But if you are mentally strong, trying to be positive and trying to face everything as and when it comes, it will help.
It's about your medical journey.
Yes, it is my medical journey. How I was diagnosed. It starts with a small basic thing. How suddenly the diagnosis came, and like a normal doctor, all of us have our plans. No, at 28 we finish our MS. We go for a couple of fellowships. We try to figure out which again extra. No, like if I want to go into IVF, laparoscopy, a lot of things are there after obstetrics and gynecology. So choosing the right field, or if I want to settle with the basic MS, whatever, or if I want to do any super specialty. So suddenly this devastating news came to me. It was just 3 months since I had finished my post graduation, and then how this whole journey unturned, and how I had to face it all, and then come back. My treatment got over on April 30th, 2023, and I joined back work on June 22nd when Raja sir told yes, I could join back work, and I joined back. And then now I'm able to do my 12 hours duty, 24 hours duty, like every other normal doctor, I feel.
Are you right like a doctor or a patient?
I've written both like a doctor as well as a patient. I've tried my best to keep the words simple. I've tried to explain the medical terms in the most simplest way by putting a footer in the book so that everybody can read it and it will be an inspiration to everyone.
Any plan to bring the book in other languages?
Not yet, sir. Not yet, sir. But maybe in future.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.